You see how important insurance is now? You can insure your goods and it will pay for delay whilst in transit. It will pay for deterioration of the products due to the delay in transit.
What company A is paying or individual is paying tallies with what the other person would pay. That is if you come in bulk. But however, if you are going to be doing it on an individual basis, that would have to come down to some of the factors which Mr. Idowu has mentioned. So we often encourage people like the expertise. If you have an association or if you have a body that should come under the umbrella, if you're able to put yourself together and approach the industry, you can work out something that is very competitive and affordable for the members, and we'll still enjoy the full value of what the insurance have to offer.
Also, please picture if you are importing or exporting a vehicle and it's on roll-off. Once the vehicle lands, it's in the open, it's there. Overnight, wharf urchins can go and take or remove some parts of the vehicle. But if the vehicle is containerized, they won't have access. Customs will open, check, seal, approve, and you are all out of the port. So, containerized shipment is cheaper than when it's roll-on, roll-off, or it's in pallets, or is in packages. So remember that. It will always be cheaper because the risk is much lower. Of course, value is important, and more importantly is the type of cover. I just talked about the port. Now, do you want a port-to-port cover? The risk is higher. Do you want a warehouse-to-warehouse cover? From the point of loading in Nigeria, whilst in transit to the port, whilst kept at the port, whilst being loaded onto the ship in transit on waterways to the port of destination, whilst being cleared, whilst in transit to the warehouse of the principal. See that journey. The issues that you need to contend with before your rate is given. Thank you very much. Any questions?
A cargo airline. We discovered that not many Nigerian insurance companies were interested or were in the business of insuring airlines, especially cargo. That caused us to head to England to insure with there's a host, which is an undertaker of Lloyd's, underwriter of Lloyd's. And it made the insurance premium so expensive. We're paying almost $500,000 on a Boeing 707 freighter, spread over 12 months. But it's good to hear now that the insurance companies of Nigeria have stepped in. But again, something fascinating here. What about, because most airlines look at the risk. We're now talking about the clients. Airlines will say, okay, because of, apparently also because of the English people, if we are coming to Nigerian territory, it's a risky place. If you are doing this, it's risky. And all of them almost instantly add up to the premium we're paying them so much. So have we now been able to separate the charterers and the aircraft, how much they look at? Is it doable right now?
All right. To the question that you have asked, you are very correct. Insurance companies have truly stepped up in terms of the extent of cover that we can now grant. Now, if you take up an insurance outside of Nigeria, and Nigeria is designated as a high-risk country, for example, to a large extent it is normal, because there are insurances that we also do here, and depending on the country of destination, we also designate some countries as high risk. So it's always a function of the risk assessment at the time, and then the nature of business that you are undertaking. But what I can say now is, given the growth in the insurance industry now, if there's a need for you to do that, because we have quite a number of airlines, cargo and passenger airlines, that are doing their insurances here, particularly in accordance with the local content law, where statutorily a substantial part of their liability must be retained here. So I think if you approach any of the big insurance companies that are truly doing aviation, you will get a very good rate, and the experience will be far different from before. I said companies that are doing aviation because this risk is specialized. It's not all insurance companies that do it. Some may not be open enough to tell you they don't, and then give you a rate that just sends you back home without anything. But please, I will not want to go into the details of mentioning names, but many of the insurance companies around now will price good and deliver exceptional service to you. Thank you.
Nigerian aviation insurance is more expensive than in Europe. I said it last year, if you remember. It is not true. We are renewing a policy now that was placed in Europe, and the rate was ×2 of what we had from London. And then the Nigerian insurance company that's handling it and accepting 50% of the cost only went to Asia to secure a Class A insurance company instead of going to, everybody goes to London. London is the home of insurance, heartbeat of insurance. So why is that expensive? You need your broker to sit down with you to find out exactly what is best for you. I can take you to the US. There are some policies that are more expensive in the US because of the liability. You don't know. US loves liability cover because everybody is suing everybody. So an average insurance person avoids the US market. Are you with me? So I will take you to England. If it's too expensive, I'll take you to Dubai. Dubai is getting to be a good hub of insurance in the world. So linking between Asia and Dubai, you will definitely get a good cover. But in addition, the capacity in country is growing phenomenally. And this has been backed up by claims that we have paid in the last 5 years, running into tens of millions of dollars, not naira, of dollars. My people, my team, these guys here are capable of underwriting anything in the region of 200 million and below. Over 200 million, we'll take it outside. When it's under $200 million, we can do it in-house. And again, the airline that I mentioned that we were insuring, which started about 20 years ago, it would interest you to note that we started with 20% cover in Nigeria. 25% in Nigeria, 75% in the UK. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we're doing 100% of that airline in Nigeria because the volume is, the aircraft are below 10 million and the liability is below 200 million. So we grew from 25 in 20 years to 100%. These guys are capable, my team is capable of handling all that.
Close their airspace. Sudan, close their airspace. Libya, close their airspace. Now it takes airlines and a flight longer time, minimum of 2 hours, depending on where it's emanating from Africa to Europe to the United States. Is this going to reflect in insurance? That's my first question. Now that it's taking a longer time for flights, going to take it? Is it going to reflect in insurance? Then my second question is, this country risk about Nigeria, why is it fixed? Is it fixed? Doesn't it change? Well, I know the security status in Nigeria is dynamic and things have been getting better over the years. But every time, country risk. I think it is incumbent on the insurance people in Nigeria to begin to educate their foreign partners. What is your disposition to this? Otherwise, one will say that country risk is a prejudice.
Able to use in country what is available. Do you understand my point? So if things should be improving, this is why we're here. This is why Professor Ichi Uko has brought us together to find solution to improve aviation cargo. Okay? In the next few years, things will improve and we will have a better risk in country. But as of today, if you mean, you see, aviation cannot be taken in isolation. Yes, we're here to discuss aviation. But when you say country risk, it didn't say aviation country risk. It said country risk. And until that improves, we'll have to face this challenge of selection. You understand? Not everybody will want to do business with us. Some people will. I was in Sheraton yesterday. I was so surprised. I went to the lounge. There are only 3 blacks. I was telling my friend just earlier on today. There are about 15 white guys in the lounge, having drinks, having their what we call happy hour. So there's something in this country that is working well. If in a very classic place, only 3 of us Nigerians were there in this Lagos. So I'm not talking negatively about the country. I have a very positive outlook and that things will improve in Nigeria.
The aircraft safe so that the people there, their passenger will be safe as well. Because anything can happen, they can pull it down.
You can make a profit. How about make a loss? Was what happened during COVID-19. How about make a loss? Is that extra 2 hours? If anything happens because of that extra 2 hours, it is covered. It's not that you can do that. Lagos to London is 6 hours. Now Lagos to London is 8 hours. And something happens in the 7th hour. The insurance company will say they won't pay. No, they will pay us.
Is there any kind of insurance cover that will take care of failure of the exporter to carry out due diligence? Now, it's not the fault of probably the owner of the produce. The owner of the produce wants to export his or her produce, gives an agent. Now, the agent goes and probably tries to cut corners at the airport and all that. And at the end of the day, these produces are discarded at the country of destination. So now, why am I asking this question? From what I've heard so far, it seems to me that insurance companies are more interested in making profits rather than encouraging business, encouraging exports. That's what I probably have taken. Because one of the main challenges we have in our exports is that most of these farmers or producers are not in tune with what is expected in the country of destination. So they don't send all these stuff without probably meeting the required standards. So when it goes there and it is carried, something has to take care of their risk. I've listened to you talk about the product liability insurance policy. Somehow, from further listening, I don't think it covers that much. So I think somehow the insurance companies need to probably look at a way of encouraging the export business rather than just taking risk, selected risk. Ikechi asked the question.
Good to may not work that way. We are not getting to where we want to get to. Thank you.
Like the example you just gave, nobody is going to provide provide guarantee to say, for the sake of negligence or likely occurrence of liability as a result of that. That's number one. Now, the export business is an entire value chain. So for example, the agent that you use the agent because you trust that the agent is good at that job. Now for professionals like that, we expect that somebody like that would have an insurance called professional indemnity, which covers where, as a result of his own error in judgment, there's some... Yes, as a result of his own professional negligence, and there's some sort of liability arising from that. That policy would pay in that regard. Now, an insurance company would also find a way to say that for everything that you do, we expect that your documentations and everything is correct. Alright? It's like taking a loan and asking me to cover you in case you refuse to pay. What that means is that everybody will take a loan and not pay back. Alright? But I talked about the possibility of taking an export guarantee insurance, where in that cover, there's opportunity to say that if the goods that you are exporting are rejected as a function of the quality, alright, that covers in that regard. Or if the specification of the request changes after you have exported, say for example, it is expected that you export grade A, that's the agreement that you have. But before arrival, the request has changed to export grade A plus. That would also cover in that regard because you have actually exported the right thing in the first instance, but as a result of any change in legislation or request, all of that can change as we go along. But again, it depends on how well you speak to a very reputable broker who understands the A to Z of the export business and not just a sales agent. There are differences in that. An insurance salesman wants your premium because he will earn commission. A broker is a professional that must understand the A to Z of your business and who again has that professional indemnity cover to say, if you advise me and I mess your business up, there's also some remedy in that regard. You want to add a bit?
So that insurance companies are only interested in taking the premium and not really providing that cover. That could have been the situation maybe decades ago, but the landscape has actually changed from regulation and from the development within the market. The insurance industry and the players now are ready to partner. They are ready to collaborate with people, individuals, and organizations. So what I would suggest is risks are emerging every day and it's dynamic. So what you have covered today, tomorrow it might change in dynamics. So what I always encourage is, if you have a peculiarity of your business and you feel you need insurance to come in that space, it's something we can always collaborate. We encourage engagement. So as an exporter, maybe an individual or an organization, if there are certain parts of the value chain you really want insurance to come in, that is why we have insurance brokers, the likes of Wolf and Company, led by Chief Agbega here. So all you just need to do is reach out to a professional insurance broker or a professional insurance agent or an insurance company. We can have conversations around it. There are so many other organizations or even technology companies that will come and say, okay, as a result of technology, we are looking at this situation. How can insurance come to help play in this space? And we are able to sit down and develop unique product to address that particular need. So if as an exporter, with the look of your business, there are certain areas you still feel there are gaps that insurance is not taking care of, please feel free. We are available to have engagement with you. It is our job when we see business succeed. It's not just for us to make profit alone. I just feel it's important. I just put this word out there. Thank you very much.
I work with Hess General Insurance. I don't want to ask a question, but I just want to correct an impression. Appears to be more interested in making profits than the risks. And I was expecting us to correct that impression. And we did it. So I just want to said to him that that is not the truth. Insurance companies, we are here to partner with you to mitigate your risk exposures. Now, before I joined insurance, I am an engineer. Before I joined insurance, I used to ask, how can someone insure a car or a suit? Like, it is a game of large number. You know, it's a pool. You gather, you reach from different people, and out of the contribution of many, you're able to settle the claims. So if all of us here, we gather one naira in a pool, and tomorrow someone has a problem, it is from that pool that you help that person. Now, if you leave it open, then the insurance companies will not be alive to save you when you have a problem. So that is why there are rules, there are warranties, there are rules and regulations that you, just like normal contract, that you need to also be aware of it to follow.
We were proposing, for a 5-year, project. Now, we wanted an aircraft, okay, for the project. It's supposed to be a 5-year project. We now realize that, there was something called trade insurance to insure the trade that we're about to embark on. Not just because of the aircraft, but the actual trade. But no Nigerian insurance company was able to offer that. I don't know why.
I would like we'll need more information on that.
Exactly my point.
Yeah, you said trade insurance. Right. What exactly does it cover?
Okay.
Maybe we use another name for it.
Okay, what it covers?
Everything is trade. You should make aviation now.
Yes.
But it's something in the market, something in the business.
A business plan whereby we were sourcing for an aircraft. Okay. There was a finance company that was ready to finance the aircraft, but not to finance the trade. Okay? We are looking for aircraft to be able to do our trade for 5 years. Okay? To be able to pay back for that. So now, the question is, that came afterwards was, what if in between, something happens and, you're not able to continue with the trade? How do we recover back our money? Because the essence of giving us the aircraft was for us to guarantee the payment out of the trade, which is movement, movement from A to B. We couldn't answer that. We met a couple of insurance companies. I don't want to call names, but the broker we were using was First Insurance. They were here. 2 years ago, and they couldn't understand what we were saying until we passed that question across to them.
I will tell you, I've never heard of it, to be frank with you, but it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. You said it exists, I believe you 100%, and then if I call my affiliates in London now, they will explain it to me, and
I will send you.
I would appreciate it, but the key point is there must be a few to start it off. Are you with me? To make it attractive for these insurance companies to go back and research on it, talk to their own affiliate, and set it up that will suit the Nigerian economy. Thank you very much for that. Thank you very much.